Okay, before I became the commissioner 5 years ago, I was an athletic director for 19 years at a small Division I school, and every year at our athletic awards banquet, we had a senior student response, and a student that was selected by our athletic department, very successful on and off the court. We asked them to speak at our awards banquets, and without a doubt, it was always the highlight of our awards banquet. So this year, I selected Annie Kate Hudson from the University of Mobile. And just before, if she starts making her way up here, let me read just a little bit bio that was prepared to tell you the caliber of student athletes that we have in our conference. Annie is wrapping up one of the most illustrated careers for a setter in school history. She was named to the 2014 SSAC All-Freshman Team, All-Academic Team in 15 and 16, and won the SSAC Setter of the Week 8 of the 11 times this season. She currently ranks second in the school history with assists 2,774, fourth in aces with 192, and ninth in digs with 760 in her career. This season has been particularly successful for Annie as she's tallied 1,378 assists, which is all-time record for a single season at Mobile, while her 69 aces this season currently is 7th all-time. She leads the SSAC by a large margin in assists, while also leading in aces per set, and assists per set. She also ranks nationally 6th in assists per games, and total aces. On Tuesday, she was also named the NAIA Setter of the Week for the National for the first time in her career. It also marks the first time in the school history and under Coach Campbell's leadership that coaching career that a setter has won a national honor. Her leadership and integrity was recognized by the conference level. She was also the 2016 Champion of Character representative. Off the court, as they refer to her as AK, has served her team as an RA in the dorms, a peer leader, a prayer partner, and a constant source of encouragement. She's also been a model student athlete in the classroom with a 3.87 GPA, majoring in kinesiology with a concentration of pre-occupational therapy. Upon her graduation in spring of 2018, Annie Kate plans to attend occupational therapy school and getting a master's or even on forward toward a doctorate degree. So without further ado, would you please help me welcome to the podium Annie Kate Hudson.
I think if we were to all ask each other why we decided on the schools we currently are at, we would all give the same answer. Although we might not necessarily like each other right now, we are all here for the same purpose. Volleyball is the underlying factor that binds us all together and will continue to do so for the rest of our lives. We have put in countless hours into this sport, and for me, I know I do not want it to end just yet. We are fighting for an opportunity to continue on, to play a few more games. We want to win, and ultimately, we want to have something physical to show for our efforts. What I did not know going into these 4 years was what I would get to take away from being a student athlete. Yes, it would be extremely sad for me to walk off the court for the last time, but the lessons I have learned will remain with me every day. Here are 3 volleyball expressions that will be useful somewhere down the road. First, I always want to set the hot hitter. I feel like I've gotten to that level of understanding with my coach where I almost know what the upcoming reprimand will be before he even says a thing. If I take a lucky guess, it would be for doubling the ball or for not setting the right hitter at the right time. Once we talked about why I have such a hard time with setting the hot hitter, and the reasoning makes sense if you know me at all. I want to set everyone. I want to give everyone a fair shot, an opportunity to do well. I want to see the people around me succeed, and I never want to step on anyone's toes. Contrarily, that strategy does not work well in volleyball, nor does it work well in life. I'm not always going to be able to please everyone, and sometimes I will have to leave someone out. I cannot always control the situation or how others react. I can only control myself. Secondly, I want to always better the ball. Growing up as a setter, one of the expressions that you always hear is to better the ball. No matter how bad the pass is, the setter is always supposed to make something better come of it. The setter tends to touch the ball every play, so we have that opportunity to make a positive difference each time the ball crosses the plane of the net. Over time, I've learned that life does not always turn out the way you intend. I can try as hard as I can to prepare and plan for the certain events, but I know in the end it's not up to me. I must always be ready to better the ball. I must always make the best out of what I'm given. Thirdly, I want to always play the game for the person next to me. Often we get too focused on the minor details and mess-ups that happen during a game. We fail to realize that there are 5 other girls on the court, all playing the same game as you. It's easier now than it once was, but I've learned to take criticism, use it, and keep playing. Instead of focusing on every little thing I do wrong, I could flip the situation and create a better environment for the person next to me. I can always be more encouraging, more motivating. You make more of an impact on the person next to you than you realize. I've gotten to experience the best of both worlds being a student athlete. What got me to the University of Mobile was volleyball, and what kept me there were the experiences and the relationships that I made outside of the sport. If I could give any piece of advice to the freshmen this year that cannot wait for the season to be over, it is that volleyball does not determine your value or your worth. In addition to the sport, find another way to expend your energy. It's only 4 years, and as I've previously mentioned, the lessons learned are invaluable. Your persistence, endurance, and hard work will all be worthwhile, although you might not see it just yet. I have been given the opportunity to receive an education while playing the sport I love for the past 4 years, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm not saying that it's been easy, but I can say from recent experience that it sets you apart. It is my dream to become an occupational therapist and to one day own my own facility where children with disabilities can receive care. To get into occupational therapy school, you must apply among hundreds, interview, and only 20 to 30 are chosen for each program. I went to my first interview this past weekend, and I can say that being a student athlete helped me to distinguish myself from the rest. Every question that was asked, I was able to relate back to something I've learned or experienced from being a student athlete. They want to know if you can be a leader, if you can time manage, if you can withstand a heavy workload, if you can problem solve, and the easiest one, if you work well in a group. Basically, they want to know about the qualities one acquires by being a student athlete. They understand that being a full-time student and an athlete is physically and mentally challenging, but they want those types of people. I would like to take a moment and acknowledge the 15 girls who have carried me through this season. Coming in freshman year, I thought Coach Amber was crazy when she explained just how much time we would be spending together. We practice together, eat together, we even live together. But why? Then, as years have gone by, I begin to see why doing everything together works out so well. Particularly, I think this year has shown me the most in the way we play together. We hold each other accountable on and off the court, and in my opinion, this is how a team should work. It is not just what you accomplish on the court, it is every single minute leading up to it. It's making sure Maggie has a cup of coffee in the morning before her first chemistry exam. It's letting Alex know after a difficult nursing exam that we're all there for her and that she's going to be an incredible nurse. It's checking Hannah's outfits before she goes out into public. It's being there for one another when a teammate has a death in the family. It's massaging the cramps out of your roommate's calves at midnight after a long practice. It's every moment in between that you think doesn't matter. These are the moments that make being on a team so special. And as cheesy as it sounds, your team becomes your family. I want to end by saying thank you. Thank you, Amber and John, for being patient with me when I couldn't make up my mind 4 years ago. Thank you for understanding that I'm a 40-year-old in a 21-year-old's body. Thank you for all the time and effort that you've put into this team over the years. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say we really appreciate all that you do. Last but not least, I want to thank Judy. For those of you who don't know her, Judy is the force of nature, who I like to call my mother. I think I can count on one hand the number of games that she has missed in the past 4 years. If you haven't seen the camper outside of your gym yet, I honestly do not know how you missed it. She is bold and confident, while her kind, gentle nature assures that no one is left behind or forgotten. She is the kind of woman I would like to be when I grow up. That's the thing about forces of nature. Everyone feels the effects, but very few have them basically live in the parking lot of your gym. All in all, when I signed the contract for the University of Mobile volleyball team 4 years ago, I had no idea the impact it would have on me, let alone the opportunities that it would provide. I am beyond thankful to finish off the season with a group of girls as great as these. I do not want to think about being done yet, but when the time comes, I want to know that I've left my mark. This experience has shaped me into the person that I've become, and I can only hope that I've made as strong of an impression.
Just a second.